Welcome back. There is rare as unicorns, although you'd hardly describe used car salesmen as the unicorn beloved of venture capitalists abroad. Still, WeBuyCars will take it. Here's the founder, Van der Walt, on their path to the JSE.
Back when we started, we never ever knew and thought that we would grow as big as we did. We've been so blessed to be surrounded by the right individuals and to have been able to walk this path. We always just looked at maybe 6 months ahead or a year ahead. So when a company scales, it can be done in two ways. It's either a push or a pull. But we just found that, you know, the demand for the service that WeBuyCars offer just grew automatically.
And how are they going to see out our incredibly tough economy?
We are very fortunate at WeBuyCars to not be as severely affected with sways in the economy. We experience times when new vehicle sales are in a slump, like it is right now. But because we serve the whole car park, meaning that there's 11 million vehicles on South Africa's roads, and we would serve those motorists when they sell their vehicles, regardless of the age of their car. We have the capability and the footprint to do that.
I mean, he's not wrong. I still think it's surely going to be market share gains because, I mean, a car is something that you can say, well, in many cases, you can push it out a year or two.
Yes, you can say to a brand new car, right? But you still need a car.
Yeah, but if you were second-hand, I mean, my car's turning, in fact, this weekend, my car is 15 years old.
Yes.
It's fine, you know.
You've been pushing yours down, though.
Yeah, I drive it hard. It's a roadster.
You do. I mean, you drive. It's a nice car. You drive, but you've been pushing buying a new car down. Though.
Oh no! If I sold that, my wife would disown me. She loves it more than me.
Okay, your car issues aside,
yes.
What did you make of the listing?
Incredible, interesting. I was not expecting that much demand. So clearly, it wasn't just coronation.
Yeah, apparently.
So there's quite a lot of demand for a company, I guess, that could potentially provide a success story for South Africa. Maybe not a unicorn in US dollars, but definitely a rhino in South African terms. It's definitely a big five. I like that. I'm a little concerned that, you know, the main shareholders are selling. What's that
That's
about?
always what an IPO is.
Yeah, but the initial one did happen. They did sell to TCP. Why are they reselling?
But there was that whole put structure as well when they sold the initial stake to Transaction.
That's why you don't need to be too smart.
No, but they needed to spin this out because if they exercised that put and forced Transaction to buy the rest with equity, they would dilute Transaction at this share price. At $50, it was fine. At $5, you would get diluted out of existence.
So you're convincing me using financial terms that it was for the good of the group.
Well,
but
yes.
Let's talk about for the group. Net. Let's talk about value creation. 18. Let's see, 3.7, 18. I think there was about some value created, not a lot. So
6% on Thursday.
6
from the close on Wednesday to close Thursday, 6%. Some uplift ahead of that.
So WeBuyCars.
Yeah.
Well, Transaction and what it is now, Transaction and WeBuy.
Yeah. So if you combine them back together, they're worth a little more than they were worth when they were in one group. So I guess they did achieve what they wanted to achieve, and I'm very happy to see that. So just keep a watchful eye on this one. The economy is not doing all that well. People still need second-hand cars. They're going to be forced to buy second-hand cars. I mean,
you don't want to go to. I mean, second-hand cars were always dodgy cars in dodgy parts of town with dodgy dealers. Apologies to those who weren't, and they've kind of made it feel less dodgy.
Yeah, it's much easier, especially for transparency of pricing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you could blame a tough economy or just a relentless series of missteps. But if there's a small caps cautionary tale out there, it is Ellies, which as of this week is officially in liquidation.
You know my story with Ellies.
You had a little.
I definitely rode it all the way to 9 rands and
and all the way down again.
It went crashing with it, and I think I sold it $3 or $2.
So I was actually
that's better than 2 cents or 1 cent.
Or 0 cents.
And that was still in 2011, by the way.
Yeah, I was digging into it. So it peaked at $10 in May of 2013.
Oh,
really
2013. There you go.
So they bought Megatron in about March or April of 2008. for 180 million, inspired because lights were turning off. And then suddenly the World Cup came and load shedding disappeared. And then remember the digital terrestrial transition.
ETT, it never had that.
Well, it was, and it was, I mean, it still hasn't, but they had warehouses full of these set-top boxes because the government was going to announce and they were going to roll them out, and the government still hasn't announced.
Yeah, that
so
still haunts me in my nightmares.
So then Megatron started to fail because there was no power. Power was working. They had all these set-top boxes, etc. Then streaming came, and ultimately they sell electrical appliances, plugs and stuff, which is ubiquitous.
You know, to some extent, I do think there was a series of sort of bad luck days for Ellies.
They've had so many good luck days, way more than bad luck days.
Do you think so?
But bad luck days take more than good luck days, because good luck days are small increments. Bad luck days take a cut.
Bang.
Yeah.
Because there were more than a couple of companies like Ellies that set themselves up in expectation of things that the government said that they were going to do coming through. I mean, think about Dawn.
Independent Power South Africa. That guy got his generator, whatever, landed, and he built a small little power plant in Newcastle. As a proof of concept.
Those boilers, and then they had to sell them.
And they had the boilers, and then IPPs were,
And there was a small IPSA.
Independent Power South Africa.
Yeah, IPSA. Oh my God.
So David Shapiro would say...
You bring some trauma.
Sorry.
David Shapiro would say that Ellies should never have listed, which I suppose in retrospect he is right. But you also want... You want to have an environment where things should work, where
when you have the option to list,
you have the option to listen. You think I'm going to do this because I have growth prospects, I have ambitions. You want to bring people into an investing net. All the good things about being a listed company, and it's very sad to see that it didn't work out for Ellies.
When you say all of those words, that's what keeps me alive every single day. Investing, capitalism, all the good stuff. But I don't know, somewhat it works.
Yeah, but they did have a lot of bad luck that in many cases was not their fault. Having those set-top boxes was the right thing, and then government 10 years later still hasn't acted. The good news is that someone at the Competition Commission did their jobs, and Afrimat is now the proud owner of Lafarge South Africa. Roll on the cement.
That was quick. That was
only 6 months.
That was quick.
That's like a nanosecond for the
9,
competition.
but
yeah, that's what I said.
9 months.
Still in that.
9 months.
That's still quick with the new bosses in the Competition Commission. So they can actually approve these deals, apparently.
They can, and it's a good deal for Afrimat.
So let's see how long they take with the deal that actually matters.
Multi-choice.
Wow. You just went straight to it.
Yeah, we haven't mentioned multi-choice yet, so we may as well.
So they're doing quite crafty. They're in the market buying below the 125. Since this morning, they're up to 40% now. The big deal still comes back to, no one's ever touched on it, we have rules around foreign ownership.
But now we do. They are bringing a local PE owner on top of the original Putumanati structure. So that's going to be rock solid.
Have you seen the map of Africa with those two merged? There's 4 countries that they don't control.
Competition.
Well, competition don't look beyond borders. They're always internal countries.
I was about to say, Competitions Commission only control their border.
Yeah.
They
look how the tobacco companies carved planet Earth, because Competition Commissions look within borders.
Phew. Spared that trial. Well, the bad news, because there is always bad news, is that Sibanye could enter its second round of job cuts this year alone, with a mooted retrenchment of 4,000 staff, even as gold prices go bananas and PGMs perk up. That's really bad news to have.
It's a lot of jobs.
It shows you when you go out there and buy assets at a rather exciting price, it becomes very hard.
Well, they were
justify.
They were given them, but also this.
No, I'm not talking about the gold.
The PGM.
I'm just saying the PGM stuff. Obviously, you have to slim everything down to
gold
justify all of those prices.
Beatrix and Kloof, or Kloof, if you KZN.
We're from Kloof.
Those mines are older than David Shapiro, with respect. Surely. I mean, I don't know. I mean, David...
But remember, we always say that, but technology always improves for us to be able to mine
But at some point, there's just no more gold there.
It's more expensive.
Yeah,
and it minuscule amounts of grams per ton of rock that you have to
So the efficiencies do definitely go down, but I mean...
I just wonder how easy this is going to be for them to get across the line with the unions, given that it's before wage talks and also in the light of a record gold price.
And it's going to be risk, the risk associated with going down in those working in environments. I don't know, man. It becomes harder and harder to justify it.
The problem is, of course, you retrench 4,000 gold mining staff. They are not getting another job in this economy because there's just no jobs and no one needs gold miners.
There you go. You got me to talk about stocks.
Yo, winner. We're surprised it took this long, but Donald Trump's Truth Social is not apparently worth what anyone might have paid for it in shares at its debut. Paper profits for a paper tiger. So 2 weeks ago, he was at whatever air, and now it's about a 40% lower, and frankly, still falling.
Yeah, 39, 30.
Deservedly so.
The last time I checked, 39% lower. I mean, it is. Just go on our Wall Street,
Yeah.
It's a proper stonk, as they call it. It's a proper beam stonk. I'm sorry. It's a what is it called? It's
pump and dump.
No. There's a word. These are not trading sardines. These are. These are not investing
sardines. These are not eating sardines. These are trading sardines.
They're definitely trading sardines.
And
they stink.
They stink.
And finally, Lego larceny, it's a thing. According to the UK Times, Californian police this week recovered bricks worth roughly $300,000. These were not, however, bricks of the white stuff. They were limited edition Lego sets, allegedly stolen for sale on a thriving black market. Lego is a favorite target of shoplifters as they're easy to sell and the profits can be huge. A model Millennium Falcon, for example, costs $849.99 from the Lego website, but on the secondary market can fetch more than $1,000. See you all at Hamleys in half an hour.
So here's the fun fact about Lego smuggling. It's cheaper than smuggling anything else also.
17,000 for Millennium. What the heck's a Millennium Falcon?
The Millennium Falcon. From Star Wars?
Yes, it's
17,000 ZAR.
Yes. Well, that's not even the most expensive one. But yeah.
Okay,
no, Lego it's got a proper follow.
That's why I don't have children.
Cheers for getting a Millennium Falcon for Christmas. That's all I can say. Bright, thanks for joining us. Have a good evening and a great weekend.